I'm Julie.
And I'm Des.
And we're the Gals. Real life, real talk from real women. So grab your coffee and let's chat.
Welcome to the Gals podcast. It's so good here to be with Julie. We are trying some new technology this week, so we're praying it works, right?
Yeah, we're hoping that it works, and it may sound a little different, but at least this content is there.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's important to us, and just staying connected with you and encouraging you in this really rough time and praying for you and hoping that you can feel just God's love and God's presence through this podcast, and we just pray that He uses us to speak into your lives. So, Julie, how you doing over there?
I'm okay. It's a little bit stressful, but we're trying to cope. These nasty, dreary days definitely don't help. Yesterday was beautiful.
Oh my gosh,
so,
yes.
Yeah, I spent a lot of the day outside, but, that does not help your healthy mindset. And I also haven't done yoga in a couple of days, just to kind of keep myself in a workout routine. So I feel like all of that combined with this weather just makes everything blah.
Yeah, and I've been looking at the forecast, and it's like rain, cloudy, rain, partly sunny, rain, cloudy, partly sunny. And it's such
terrible.
A downer, especially during this time where we're really stuck inside, because when you go outside, it's just so, your hair. Yes. Yeah. Your hair just gets all disgusting. That's what I care about is my hair, so.
Of course. if there's one thing, your hair is definitely important. You can get away with everything else.
Absolutely. Because, you've been stuck inside and you're outside and you're seeing other people and, they're seeing your disgusting hair and you want to, look good.
And now you don't have to do your makeup because you get to wear a mask anyway.
Exactly. It's so funny. The last few times I've gone out, I forgot that I had to wear a mask, so I put lipstick on. I put lipstick on, all precise, and the lip liner, and I go in my car and I look at my mask. I'm like, shoot! I forgot I had to wear this thing.
It gave you the extra boost of confidence that you needed.
It sure did. So
it's all good.
So, it's been strangely stressful. A lot of different things happening, a lot of technical issues. Our church has been trying to do virtual services, and we've been having some tough times with that. And this morning for us was particularly stressful, but thankfully we worked it out because some exciting stuff was going on during our service. Julie actually debuted her first song. Of course, you've written many songs, but actually putting something out there that's your own is very scary. So how did you feel about the response?
Well, my feelings up to the actual putting out of the song have been a great deal of anxiety, wondering if it sounds elementary, if it can live up to the standard of a worship song, if it will be well received, if the lyrics are relatable. A lot of heart goes into music that we put out, and it's hard to not be judgmental of ourselves. We're our worst critics. And so even yesterday I was like, I don't even know if I want to post that I'm, debuting a song tomorrow. And thankful that you kind of pushed me to
I
do
totally
it.
did, and I knew what I was doing. I was like, I don't care who sees this. I don't care if she's mad at me. I am doing it anyway. I didn't even ask Julie if I could promote it. I just did it.
I know. I saw you post it and you tagged me, and I was like, ooh. No, I have no choice. If I don't share it, I look ridiculous. So, I appreciate that very much. That's what a good friend does, is that they encourage you and push you in places where they know that you need it and encourage you to do things that are out of your comfort zone. So I appreciate it. And I knew that that's what it was. I wasn't angry. I saw it as girls, get it together and do something. So when the song got, played this morning, I felt relieved. I thought it was really good, and
Yeah, it was.
I was worried about how people would respond, but the response has been really, really great, and honestly, like, pretty powerful. I got a lot of messages and texts and people sharing it, asking when it's going to be recorded, when they can post it, how they can share it, that they felt like it was, perfect timing during their day if they listened to it. Like, recently I actually got a message saying that a girl that I've known for like my entire life, she works in a nursing home, and it's very difficult for their residents right now, and some of them have dementia and they don't know what's going on, and what seems like a short period of time to us is like a lifetime to them. And she was saying that she's just hurting for them, and she came home and she listened to the song and she just felt God's presence, and that she immediately was drawn to a joyful time of worship. And if that's really the goal for me, is to always bring people into God's presence, and that's what I'm called to do, and I just want to honor that gift. So however that plays out, that's my goal, and I really feel that is what the heart of the song is about inviting God into all those moments in your life. I feel that we, a lot of the time, have a transactional relationship with God where we just expect him to show up, and we expect, his presence to be there, instead of asking and really receiving it and allowing him to come into that space or that hurt and do what he feels is best for us. So that's really the heart of the song.
Yeah, and you don't know what you let me rephrase that. You could have missed all of that blessing by hiding the song and not putting it out there.
You're right.
So,
yeah.
And I think a lot of us do that because we're scared of the response, and sometimes the response is negative, and I think the Lord wants us to learn how to deal with it. And it is sad when people are negative, but they're probably also coming from a place where they're mad at God, or they're just not as confident as we seem to be in ourselves. We're not really always that confident either. Or maybe they're just dealing with something internally that makes them lash out externally. And we can't always take it personally, because 99.9% of the time it's not aimed at us. It's something that they're going through. And I know that for personally, if I am negative towards somebody or if I criticize something, it's usually because I don't feel very good about myself. So sometimes we just have to take those steps of faith and put ourselves out there and deal with the criticism as it comes. But you didn't get any of that. You only got positive things, and the Lord was really able to work through your obedience. And I think of Jared Anderson too, the songwriter. And he has that popular song, Great I Am, which is so powerful. And it took him a really long time to take that song off the shelf and work on it and put it out there for whatever reason. But, I mean, he thought it wasn't that great of a song, and so many people have been blessed by it. So sometimes we just got to put it out there whether we like it or not, really.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I just sitting there and like hearing it and seeing it, I was like, oh, let's see what happens. But I really feel that God really placed that chorus on my life a couple months ago, probably like near my birthday, so around November. And I just I heard the chorus and I was like, I don't know if that's something or not, and I kind of left it there. And I talked a little bit about this when I posted on Instagram, but I had a lot of thoughts about the song, but kind of left it thinking that who am I to write a worship song that maybe I'll play somewhere, like who am I to do that? And when I went to the rest retreat with Worship Circle, we had this downtime where we had to spend 45 minutes in silence, just alone with God, and ask him certain questions and really listen for answers. And in that time, I heard God tell me, he made me to worship and to create worship and to really just rest in his presence and kind of just focus on those things. And so when I came back, I felt really excited to finish the song. And I think something beautiful came of that, in the obedience of saying, like, okay, God, I get it. That's why you made me. and I'm going to go ahead and go through with that.
Absolutely, and I'm so glad that you were obedient to that voice. As you were talking, I was thinking about like how the world is just filled with music. What's another song gonna do?
Right.
Why should I write anything when there's like 100,000 songwriters in Nashville writing music that people are going to hear and love, and who am I? And I just remember Carrie Job doing a conference and talking about that, and she said, we need your songs. We need them. And I always remembered that. And I thought that was so encouraging, because the world needs to be constantly filled with new music. We can't just have the same songwriters. We can't just have the same creativity. God has made us all to be very different. And, I mean, obviously there's the same chord progressions that happen. Some of the melody lines seem to be a little bit the same here and there, but we always want something new. And God's word even says, I'm paraphrasing here, but sing a new song. I forget where that is. I should look it up. But sing a new song unto the Lord. And I think that's so important. Like, if Carrie Job never wrote another song, we wouldn't have her new one, like The Blessing. Or
Yes.
I loved her Garden CD. That was so good. Such a good album. And so if our favorite songwriters stopped writing, it would have a huge impact on the world. We need music. We need new stuff. So it was really good. And
true.
Before we get into other things, I'm actually want to skip down here. I know we had like a bunch of things to talk about, but my husband did a sermon this morning for our church. It's terrible. I forget what it was called, but it was on
True Religion.
It was on True Religion. Yeah. Okay. So that was the title. And he said something that was really, really profound that Carrie Job's album, The Garden, actually reminded me of. And he said that, I'm paraphrasing here, but the number one motivation for spiritual growth is not a great sermon or worship set. It's not a beautiful building with all the latest technology, but it's the hard times. And Carrie Job wrote The Garden, the whole CD, after she had gone through her niece being born a stillborn. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Super sad for me, because my nephew had passed away when he was that young, 3 days old, and just the birth of that whole album, how beautiful it was, and perfectly titled, The Garden. And I went to actually see her perform it, and it was so impactful. There was nothing like special about the performance. It was just the music and her heart behind it, and just the music that came from that really painful experience impacted my life. It impacted my sister's life, who had lost her son, my nephew. And Steve's right. You know, God can only grow us when there's trials, and the great times are good. They're great, but they don't produce the fruit that God is always looking for in our lives.
Right. I agree. And how we talked about how there will be fruit from this season. And we talked about that last time, but in the hard times we see it as things, it's a dry soil where things don't grow. But there is a turning in the soil from what God's doing, and He produces a beautiful fruit that we will see. We will see the fruit from this and this hard time in this season. And I think that a lot of it, we are, as musicians, we get to create music from times like this. And I'm encouraged to see what music will come from this time that we're in right now. You know, what beautiful melodies will come from this, because there's so many releases right now that are happening. And I feel like it's so cool to listen to them, because they were recorded way before a pandemic, yet they're so timely. They're so timely for what we're going through as a nation and as the world. And I think that's cool how God takes those things and He just prepares our hearts. He's given us different things, different songs, different melodies, different words and we're using them and we're singing them and we write these songs, and then months later when they come out, you know, to our ears on Spotify and Apple Music and Amazon Music,